here, and we're doing the news live from Cannes, and I'm very lucky to have Mainardo de Nardis with us. For those of you who don't know him, he is formerly the CEO of OMD, and today he is an investor, advisor, and board member to many companies. Mainardo, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me. Very happy to be here.
Yes, and fun, and you've been busy here in Cannes, certainly.
Well, it's only day one, but it certainly started in a very hectic way. I got here at 3 o'clock yesterday, and we started at 3:15, and it's been meetings ever since.
Yeah. Do you have anything specific you're really trying to accomplish while you're here, other than obviously see good partners? Are there any new things you're working on, or what's the thing you're working on that's the newest right now?
I think that for me, it's mainly about getting people together, because you can get people from all over the world in the same meeting, and it's so hard to do it in the rest of the time. So, I mean, my last meeting was somebody from Asia, from Europe, and from the US. Normally we do it on video, and people are traveling a lot less post-pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's harder to get everybody together.
Business-wise.
Business-wise.
Yeah.
People are traveling a lot for holidays, yes.
Yes, a lot for holidays. I think US and Europe is well represented, but Asia less so here in Cannes. That's what I've noticed as well.
It's always the same every year, but I think that there are a number of key people, which is great to see, from China, from Singapore, from Australia, if you assume that's Asia.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Yeah, that's how they feel about it.
It's Asia in our world because we put it in that geography, but it's
right.
Certainly not Asia for them.
That's right. So I think we run a conversation on brand safety, which is expanding further to digital safety. When you think about digital safety, the larger conversation, people safety, which involves D&I and mental health and youth safety and obviously the things going on in the industry. Because you talk to a lot of brands, where are they in their arc around talking about what they do to protect their consumers online? Are they talking about it now, and where are they in the arc of that conversation?
You know, it's a very black and white conversation, because if you're talking about content distribution, media, creative exposed to audiences on platform, I would say that the general feeling is that we're doing so much better than we were doing 5-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's an assumption that is a protected environment for the brands, notwithstanding what is happening on those platforms. And I'm talking about most of them, apart from Twitter, that is unmanaged. So it's difficult to have an opinion at this precise moment. If we think about consumers and consumer sentiment especially, I'd like to refer to the Edelman Trust Barometer, which I think is one of the best ongoing studies about consumers' trust. And trust in what?
Right.
Trust in government, trust in brands, trust in CEOs of the place where they work, trust in journalists. I would say that the trust has been going down immensely over the last few years. There was a positive moment at the beginning of the pandemic, because consumers started trusting in governments, which they don't normally do,
right.
Because there was an opinion, there was a need to feel safe, and who do you trust if not your government? But now I would say the trust is down on nearly everything, apart, and you'll be surprised, CEOs of the corporations where people work, because in the absence of not knowing who to trust, they found that the boss of their company as a person who could give a sense of direction.
Right, the trusting leadership.
But leadership of their business, not leadership of the country,
right.
Not leadership in the medical environment, not leadership in journalism.
Yeah.
Leadership of their company, which is a very small environment. It's like a microsystem where people want to be happy in their specific place of work.
So, because if you think about the topics, that are important to consumers, right? Protecting their data, my brand is sustainable. They have diverse cultures, and they're giving back. So it sounds like the brands are doing a good job in representing this, because that's why the consumers are trusting the leadership. How can they keep that momentum going? And how would you advise a client to say, well, they like me now, make sure they like me tomorrow?
I think the advice is always the same, to stop talking about protection and safety and actually doing it.
Yeah.
And proceed by example, by action, not by big speeches, which the consumer doesn't trust anyway. So I think it's the action of the brands. I'm not sure everybody's doing it well. I mean, in the media planning environment is done quite well, because there was an issue, it has been sort of sorted by technology and we're moving on. But in everyday's conversation is not. Consumers are worried about, as you said, about privacy, about misinformation, they live in that every day.
Yeah.
They need brains to help them with actions to make it more protected. I think what brains have to understand is what is the sentiment of the consumer and listen instead of speak.
Yeah. So shifting gears, when can. It's creative. This is a creative awards. It's creative time, and you can't go very far without talking about AI and creativity. I know, and also if you think about television, CTV, kind of wrapping all that into one. I know you have some strong views and some businesses that you're looking at that are specifically. What do you think the future of creativity with plus AI looks like?
Well, first of all, I'm still surprised that people talk about AI so much in the last 6 months because it was really sort of invented in the 50s, which is 70 years ago. And it was not called AI, but the principle was the same. So I think that generative AI is a huge help for the industry and is a huge potential threat at the same time. Help because the obvious efficiency and precision it can help to create. Threat because a misuse of generative AI can create even more damaging content, misinformation, fraud, malware, etc., etc. So I think that people talk about generative AI a lot without really knowing what it means. Sometimes it's a threat, sometimes it's an opportunity. And I think the conclusion that at least our market is getting to is that people who will manage AI, and specifically generative AI in this case, will be more successful in what they do, but it's not going to cut the human element out of it. Humans are going to stay, but empowered by the AI, they can achieve so much more.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think so. So overhyped.
Immensely.
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 Yeah.
And under knowledge of what is really happening.
Overhyped, under knowledge.
Huge ignorance.
We've heard on the curve of that question, we've heard overhyped, underhyped from different people. So overhyped, interesting, for sure.
Overhyped because people talk about AI more than the benefit of AI.
Yeah.
Take AI as a highway. Let's
Yeah.
focus on the destination.
Yeah. So as an investor, what are you seeing? What are the pitches you're seeing right now? Is it all AI or 75% AI technology? Like what are the kinds of things people are showing you right now?
Just to give you an example, I'm very interested in creative effectiveness and AI together with machine learning, et cetera, is a huge help in decoding what consumers understand about creative messages and being able to reformat them or even recreate original ones with a better understanding of what is needed and what is perceived. So in that sense, AI is a huge help for driving an issue and having a measurement on creative effectiveness, which is so important.
Got it. So we'll see money going. Continue to go there.
I think that we will be talking about creative effectiveness for the next 5-10 years, at least, and that it's the biggest bucket of unexplored value the brains are discovering today. I mean, not that they didn't know about it before. We always knew that. You can debate if it is 50 or 70%, but the value in the communication is in the message, not just in the optimization of the audience and the media. We just didn't have a way of measuring it, and in real time or near real time, being able to optimize on those informations.
The value is in the message. That's a good place to end.
The value is in the message and in the measurement of that value.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Great
Thank you
job,
very much.
everybody. Thanks for watching. That's the news.